It starts the moment you press play. Not in a metaphorical way. Not in a get ready for excitement way. It already started. Somewhere across 3 countries, stadium lights are on, grass is cut, cameras are rolling, and 48 nations are stepping into the biggest World Cup in history. This isn't just another tournament. This is the 2026 World Cup, and it feels like football has been turned up to a level nobody is fully prepared for. 104 matches. 16 stadiums. 3 host nations. And a format so big that even the most die-hard fans are quietly asking the same question. How are we supposed to keep up with all of this? Because something is different this time. You can feel it immediately. The speed. The noise. The pressure. The scale. It doesn't feel like a tournament anymore. It feels like a global event that refuses to slow down. And it all begins in Mexico. The night Mexico City went full stadium mode. The opening match, Mexico vs. South Africa. Estadio Azteca. Mexico City. A stadium that doesn't just host football, it absorbs it and sends it back louder. 80,000 fans packed inside. And from the first whistle, it wasn't just support. It was pressure. Because when Mexico plays at home, the atmosphere doesn't rise. It erupts. Every touch South Africa made was met with noise. Every Mexican pass felt like it had momentum behind it. The stadium didn't feel like a venue. It felt like a living force reacting in real time. And then came the moment everyone remembers. Not just a goal, but the beginning of control. Mexico strike first in the 9th minute. Quiñones finishes it in front of a stadium that explodes before the ball even hits the net. And suddenly, the tone of the match is set. This isn't a friendly welcome to the World Cup. This is a statement. When the game stopped feeling normal. If you blinked during this match, you missed something important. Because it didn't behave like a typical opener. Mexico doubled the lead in the 67th minute. Raúl Jiménez finishes it calmly, like the game was already decided in his mind before the ball arrived. But the real story wasn't just the goals. It was everything happening between them. Challenges getting tighter. Tempers getting shorter. Space disappearing faster. And then it escalates. Red cards. Not 1. Not 2. 3 in total across the match. A match that was supposed to open the tournament instead became one of the most chaotic opening games in World Cup history. At one point, it was 10 versus 9. Players adapting on the fly. Coaches shouting instructions that barely survived the noise of the stadium. South Africa fighting to stay in the game, Mexico trying to control the storm they created. And by the final whistle, the scoreline is simple. Mexico 2, South Africa 0. But the match itself? Anything but simple. It felt faster. More physical. Less forgiving. And maybe that's the real theme of this tournament already. There is no warm-up phase anymore. A World Cup that doesn't wait for you. 16 years ago, these 2 nations met in a completely different era of football. Now they meet again, but everything has changed. The stakes. The pressure. The speed of the game. Even the fans feel closer to the pitch somehow. And here's the question that keeps coming up. Is football actually getting faster, or is the World Cup just becoming too intense to process in real time? Because this opening match didn't just deliver goals. It delivered exhaustion. The kind you feel just watching it. And we're only one match in. The ball that will decide moments. Now we move from chaos on the pitch to the object causing half of it. The official match ball. Lightweight. Unusual. And built differently from anything we've seen before. Fewer panels than traditional designs. A built-in sensor system tracking movement in real time. And a shape inspired by one of the most controversial balls in World Cup history. Yes, that one. The one goalkeepers still complain about years later. But this time, designers insist it's improved. Smoothed. Stabilized. They say it flies better. Goalkeepers say they need more time. Players? They're still adjusting. And that's the point. At this level, even a slight change in physics changes everything. A pass a fraction faster. A shot dipping a fraction earlier. A save becoming impossible by milliseconds. And in a tournament this big, milliseconds decide history. The heat is now part of the game. Then there's something nobody can ignore. The weather. This World Cup is being played in intense North American summer conditions. And in some cities, temperatures push past 35 degrees Celsius. That changes everything. Stamina. Strategy. Substitutions. Even mentality. So FIFA introduces mandatory cooling breaks. Every 23 minutes, the game pauses. Players hydrate. Coaches regroup. Fans wait. Some call it necessary. Others call it disruption. But one thing is certain. Football is no longer ignoring the environment it's played in. And behind the scenes, decisions keep changing. Water rules adjusted. Fan policies reversed. Guidelines updated. It's a reminder that even the biggest tournament in the world is still adapting in real time. The problem of too much football. Here's where things get even more interesting. With 48 teams, the schedule is overwhelming. Some days bring 4 matches at once. No one can watch everything. Not even the most dedicated fans. So the question becomes, what do you even focus on? Because in a tournament this big, attention becomes the real currency. Some fans will follow every match. Some will pick their nations and ignore the rest. Others will only show up when chaos is guaranteed. And chaos always arrives. Group stages filled with uncertainty. Underdogs ready to collapse expectations. Favorites under pressure from the first whistle. And somewhere in all of this, careers will change forever. The group everyone is watching. Every World Cup has one group that feels different. This one is no exception. A group so unpredictable that every match feels like a knockout game. No comfortable results. No safe predictions. Just pressure from start to finish. And then there are the giants. Argentina. Every match they play feels heavier than the last. Because this might be the final World Cup appearance for Lionel Messi. And that changes everything. Every touch feels like it matters more. Every goal feels like history repeating itself in real time. And every game brings the same quiet thought. How many more of these moments are left? What this World Cup is really about. Over the next 39 days, 104 matches will unfold. Some will go exactly as expected. Some will collapse predictions completely. And some will produce moments nobody will believe even after watching the replay. A missed penalty that changes a nation. A last-minute goal that sends a team home. A young player nobody knew, becoming a global name overnight. Because that's the real pattern of the World Cup. It doesn't follow scripts. It destroys them. And every tournament leaves behind the same truth. Football is not just about tactics or teams. It's about moments that cannot be repeated. The final question. So as this tournament continues, one question stays in the air. Are we watching the most structured World Cup ever created? Or the most unpredictable one? Because right now, after just one match, nothing feels stable. Not the tempo. Not the rules. Not even the expectations. And maybe that's exactly what makes it special. Because in a world where everything is planned, optimized, and analyzed, the World Cup still finds a way to surprise us. Every single time. And this time, it has only just begun.